It's a new year. 2023 is here. Putting on my list of minis. Newsies and let's cheers. Let's talk about the future. Let's talk about the past. Time to get on the Not Your Average Joel podcast.
Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome to season 3 of Not Your Average Joel. So it's been a little while since you've seen me. The reason being is because I took a break during the holidays. Last time I had a recording out, it was towards the end of December, but I actually did those recordings towards beginning to mid December so that I can enjoy the holidays with my family, and I hope that everybody else had a good Christmas and a good New Year's. I can definitely say that I did for sure. And I hope that everybody's having a good 2023 so far. Um, I can say for sure that I am having a good 2023 because I actually just got back from vacation, which was very much needed. It was nice going to the beach even during January. I know people may be thinking, why on earth did you go to the beach in January? But the weather was actually pretty nice there. It was actually in the 70s, and I definitely enjoyed just sitting out there, even if the water was a little too cold. But I just needed some time to recharge and refresh and just get back to where I'm ready to get adjusted to being back here in Alabama and, of course, doing my work and then getting back into this podcast as well. So, um, before I tell everybody about this topic, I want to welcome back Alex and Caitlyn to this channel. They have been on here many, many times, and I appreciate their support so much. I'm definitely, I definitely consider them both really good friends of mine, and I definitely appreciate them always, showing up when they say they're going to show up, and being a good support group for me. So I want to first congratulate Alex because last week he actually graduated from college, or he's done with college. So, congratulations, Alex, and thank you for being here again.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so I know you're now in the stage to where you're trying to figure out where God is leading you as far as where you want to be a worship pastor at. So praying all of that goes well, and I'm so glad that you were done with homework and done with all those essays and all that. I know that those were time consuming for sure, but I know you said before we even started this call, you were talking about how you now are like trying to figure out like, oh, like what do I do now?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So adjusted to just, the school days, but now that you're out of it, now you've got to figure out the new normal, I guess we should say.
Mhm. Job hunting and all that jazz. So fun.
Yeah, I could definitely relate to that. I was definitely in your position a few years back. So, I'm hopefully, you'll find the place where, God is calling you to be. And yeah, so there's that. And then also I want to welcome back Caitlyn, again. That's definitely good to have her here and definitely good to just see her again. And I was telling her this over the holidays. I saw she had posted a video of this like tradition that her and her family does when it comes to singing about Jolly Jolly Santa. And by the way, is that something that like y'all created, or is that something that's just been out there?
Well, my aunt, it's actually like my great aunt, my great grandmother's daughter, my grandmother's sister. It's something that they did when they were little. My great grandmother's sister was kind of brought it, or sister-in-law kind of brought it to the family. And so I don't know if it's like further back than that or what, but I just know that that's where it came from for us. But it's something that's been in our family for literally generations. So it's pretty cool. We we
Yeah.
we went for a period in my childhood where we didn't do it every single year, but um it was probably about, I don't know, probably about 10 years ago or so we started doing it again regularly, and it's become one of my favorite parts of Christmas.
Yeah, I love like seeing that every year. I think you post it probably every year or most years. And from what I've seen, it just always looks like a good time because it seems like yeah, your aunt's leading the way. She's like,
Mhm. Y'all,
does he
hey,
have some big black boots? And then you're like, yes, he has the big
it
black boots.
always makes anybody that's new in the family like if it's boyfriend or if we've got somebody most recently married or like this year the ones in the video that helped lead with her was my cousin's new wife's daughters, and they all had a blast. They all enjoyed it. Like they were nervous to begin with, but when they realized that all of us were going to be singing with them, they ended up really enjoying it.
Yeah, it's like the initiation into the family. It's like you're gonna be a part of this every year.
Hmm. Yep.
Yeah, it's always such a fun time just watching that video and just seeing how everybody's like gets excited for it and everybody's like Jolly Santa, Jolly Jolly Santa. And then everybody's just like there's some people are louder than others I can hear. Some people are more like passionate about it.
You could hear me definitely in the videos. I think everybody's favorite part is where we go, oh,
Yeah, I like that when everybody's like, oh,
that aren't singing.
Jolly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always like, that's such a cool tradition that like I wish our family had some kind of tradition like that. We do have a few different things that we do every year, but nothing regarding singing. But but
Hey, you can watch the video and adapt it for your own family. It's really fun. It's funny every year because it always takes a good 10-15 minutes for us to remember like big black boots, bright red suit, comes on Christmas Eve. Like, we'll all be sitting there and we're like, oh my gosh, what is it? What is it? This year we were smart enough to look back at one of those videos I had shared before to be like, oh, this is what we did.
yeah, that's always such a good time. I love seeing that. So yeah, I'm glad that you ended up
Yeah.
having a good Christmas time for
Oh,
sure.
it's fun. It's definitely this year, especially with us not doing presents for everybody. Used to we would all draw names, but this year we just decided to do presents for our great grandmother. She's 91. She'll be 92 in February, actually, February the 2nd. And she was just like a kid. Like every present, she was like, even when people gave her gift cards, she was like, I know what I'm gonna do with this. So, but it was just being able to watch that and then sing the song and then play aggravation with my family was definitely it was definitely a good Christmas.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, and I'm glad that yeah, that your great grandmother enjoyed Christmas too. Just and also just seeing other people's smiles on their faces always makes Christmas even more like heartwarming. So, speaking of singing, that's actually going to be in relation to our topic of today, which, for those if you're new to this channel, you may not remember this. So you may have to go way back to episode 8 when we talked about music. We did like a first part. Crazy me back then was thinking that we could answer 10 questions in like a matter of like an hour. And I was thinking, like, no, like we were at 5 questions and we were already at like 75 minutes of recording. So I was like, we're gonna do a part two like the following weekend. Well, that following weekend never happened. And due to just different schedulings and stuff like that, we are now doing it here. And I know in part one, there was 4 of us here. Our another good friend Dell is not here today. He wasn't able to make it, but we thought we would continue, and the show must go on. And I thought that this would be a good topic to talk about because I've been wanting to continue this topic for a little while, and I feel like that's like a topic that I've been hearing from other people that they really enjoyed listening to is just talk because I think music is just something that like everybody can relate to in one way or another, even if they're not a singer, like they're just a listener. They just enjoy different genres of music. And I think that's just something that I love about music. It's just I feel like it brings people together, kind of like the last question that I asked in part one, I asked if music can bring people together. And I just feel like in a way it does, and just that way. It just, it's almost like a therapy in a way. So yeah, I have a few more questions that I want to ask both Caitlyn and Alex, and I'm going to answer as well. And these are questions that I originally was going to ask back in the summer, and they just we never got to it because it was just I didn't want the episode to go on way too long. So we are getting to them now, and looking forward to hearing their answers. And everybody, if you're watching this and you want to provide your answers, if you want to say your answers to these questions, you can comment on my YouTube channel at Know Your Average Joel, or you can even, privately message me on my Instagram page at Not Your Average Joel Podcast. So there's a few different ways that, you could even, play along with us. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get into this first question. So my first question is, I know that in one way or another, we're all singers, whether it's we sing in the choir or if we just sing solo, sing by ourselves. And so I guess my question is, do you see music as something that you want to do full time, like as in like a career with music? So I guess I'll have Caitlyn answer this first.
To be honest, no, but my reason is I don't like my voice that much. Like I consider myself a choir singer, not a solo singer. I love music, and I think that I know that if I had if I had a better voice, I would definitely say yes, just because I love singing and stuff. But I just don't see it ever being something that I could ever do full time and live off of it.
Yeah, I can relate to that in a way because I'm same here with me. I'm in the choir at my church as well, and I mean I don't know. I've like thought about the idea of like wanting to do music full time, but like I don't know. For some reason, I just feel like I don't have like the best voice. I mean, I know nowadays there's this like pitch correction and like auto tune. I feel like even people that are famous singers nowadays use, but I don't know. I just don't, maybe I just don't have as much like confidence to like actually do something out on my own and try to make money off of it. But but yeah, I guess that's just kind of where I stand with it as well. Now, Alex, I know has a different answer, don't you?
I have a completely different answer. Um, it being my degree, well, my degree is technically in worship leadership, which means full time, hopefully, I'll be leading every Sunday at a church singing. So, yes, I do see it. In my case, as a full time job, but I would say worship ministry is way different than doing music full time. Um, but I'm also recording an album right now. I might talk about that later on in this episode. Um, so unlike you two, I actually have like a voice teacher that I go to every week, and we just work on my voice, warm up, making sure I hit all the right notes. He's focused on my breathing, so that way, on that, so every Sunday I have a really good voice to lead people into worship, and yeah. So I do kind of see music as a full-time job for me because I love music. I love to sing, and I was going to let that get away from me, and it's God's calling, so it's all good.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. Like, especially since you went to school for that, it makes total sense as to why you want to, get into a positions where you can lead people in worship. And I think that's awesome that you also have like a voice teacher, someone that can help you with more than just hitting the right key. Is like even like you said, the breathing techniques. There's like a lot that goes into singing. Not many people think about it, but it's like there's just a lot of techniques that you can do if you're breathing and like singing from your diaphragm and all this technical stuff that goes into it. So it's good that you have that to prepare yourself for that as well.
Yeah, there's also like jaw tension and tongue tension to make sure you have a loose jaw and it's all like free, and you don't let your tongue get in the way of saying the words. And he's been trying to focus on me because when I sing, I do the Elvis lip where he kind of like does this. No, Elvis kind of lets his lips like this, and he's like, "Stop that." Because he told me, "How did you figure that out?" I was like, "I don't know. My mom listened to Elvis a lot growing up, so I just kind of picked up that little curve in my lip." And he was like, "Okay, stop that. Got to make sure you don't show any teeth." I was like, "Okay."
I I think that's so good. Yeah, Elvis was like definitely was known for doing that. Most definitely.
But he has a good voice, so that's always my counter argument with them.
That's right.
Yeah, you got that right. That's for sure. So, yeah, I'm glad that you have like those kind of tools and like that, that teacher that can help mentor you in that way. So, to prepare you for that moment, which I'm hoping for you will be sometime this year now that you're done with school.
I hope so too, but I'm not gonna rush anything. I'm just gonna keep praying and let God make my decisions for me.
That's
Amen. That's definitely the perfect way to go about doing that. It's just, allowing God to just let it happen because it may not happen right away, but or it may happen, but you just never know. It's just but out of curiosity, are you hoping to do like, worship pastor in the Boise area, or would you be open like if God called you outside of Boise or even outside of Idaho?
Oh yeah, for sure. I've the last few weeks of school, everybody has been asking me, "Are you gonna be staying in the valley, and do it just here, or are you open to moving into like a different country or a different state?" And I'm like, "Yeah, whoever he calls me to do, I'll do it."
Yeah.
So, so I might have to move to Washington, or I might have to move to like I don't know, London. I don't know, wherever he leads me
where I
to. Well, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, wherever God leads you. I'm glad that you're going to be, that you are open to that and willing to be obedient in that area because I know that could be something that people struggle with for sure, just being obedient to the calling, even if it's not singing, like going out into the mission field. Some people may be thinking, I'm leaving my family behind, and I'm scared of the unknown and like I don't know these people. I don't speak their language, so there's a lot that goes into it, but I'm glad that you are willing to, do what it takes to be obedient and to, worship him at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, if my brother can do it, I can do it. If you guys don't know, my brother is in the is in the Philippines right now on a missionary, doing missionary work there. So if he can
what?
do it, I can do it too.
That's right.
Yes. Yes, exactly. I love that you, have that confidence knowing that like, if, your brother can go out into the Philippines, which he's been out there for a couple months now, hadn't he?
6 months, yeah, he left in June.
Oh,
So
whoa, whoa,
that was
time flies. Yes, yes, 6 months, and he's been doing amazing work out there from what I've seen on his Instagram page. So, I definitely believe in that as well. If he can do it, you could definitely do it. Anybody can do it if they just, rely on God for that wisdom and strength and just, and to be able to use the gifts that God has given you.
yeah, for sure.
Yes. So, another question that I have that comes to mind is I'm sure this question comes with many answers. It already comes with many answers for me. But the question that I have in mind that comes next is, what is a song that you can relate to, and how are you able to relate to this specific song? And you can name more than one song, but does any songs come to mind for either of y'all?
Well, for me, there's a song by Passion, and I can go for several different genres if you want me to do that. But there's a worship song by Passion called "Follow You Anywhere," and that's actually, I'll actually be talking about that a little bit later too. But that's actually kind of been the theme of my college experience has been because I'll be graduating in May, and like to begin with, I was like I would get like a song of the semester and I would be listening to, the same song every day just to try to, and then I come across that song and it changed it for me. It changed everything for me because it was like, it was almost because the bridge says, wherever you lead me, whatever it costs me. And I was driving to school and I was listening to it one day and probably like my 50th time listening to it or even more than that, maybe. And it was almost like in my head, God was like, but what if I leave you here? Like, what if I leave you where you're at right now in your life? What if I leave you at the pharmacy, where you're working? Are you willing to keep following me there? Even though that's not what your degree's in, what if I take you somewhere that has nothing to do with your degree? Will you still follow me where I want you to go? and it really changed it for me. Like it changed my whole mindset. So like where I used to would say, oh, I could never leave Alabama. Now I'm kind of like, you know, what if God does want me in the mission field? What if God does want to take me to these places? Am I willing to go there? Okay, well, if I'm willing to go there, am I also willing to stay here and be what He's called me to be here? Like, not get caught in a rut, not get, I don't have to have this big, extravagant life if it's not what God wants for me to have. So that's probably one, that's the biggest one right now. I've always joked around though. There's a song by Reba. I've always joked around and said the song "Is There Life Out There?" The chorus is what really strikes with me. That song is that verse is me. Like I'm, the whole song is talking about a woman who's married and has kids, and I don't have a husband and kids, but I still do what's expected of me. I help take care of family. I'm the reliable one. I'm always right there for them whenever they need me, and tend to put things that I like to do or I want to do on the back burner. Not all the time, but sometimes. And it's just kind of that song has kind of always been in the back of my mind as, hey, that's me. I tend to do what's expected of me, and I don't have the adventures and stuff. I have a friend who lives in Alaska right now, and she's been there for several years. Like once she got out of college, she got a job. She is a X-ray technician or something. I don't know. She has something to do with like X-ray or like checking women when they have babies, sonogram, stuff like that. Like she does stuff like that. And she got the opportunity to go, and it was originally supposed to be just for a year for her to go to Alaska. And she ended up staying, and like seeing pictures and stuff of her on Facebook, and she goes hiking all the time, and she goes to Hawaii sometimes. And I'm sitting here going, man, and I know that Facebook is Facebook, you never see the somebody's true life on Facebook, but those adventures and stuff, that's stuff that I would like to do. And, so that song is another one that kind of makes me think about my life. But yeah, that's about it. That's all I can think of right now.
Yeah, well, that's those are two really good songs for sure. Reba definitely. I think that's one good thing about Reba as an artist is that like she can be very relatable. I feel like that's even
Oh yeah.
the biggest fan of country music. I feel like country is really good with like telling a story or like being very relatable and like connecting with people in that way. So, and I think Reba is definitely one of the best when it comes to that.
It's really older country music. Like I mean, there's a lot of older songs, and it's just like, yes, that's because I mean, I listen to like a lot of more modern country music, and it's like I don't get drunk every weekend. I don't go to bars. I don't, I don't do all that stuff. But the more life stuff, like that's part of the reason why I like country music, especially I like mostly like 70s, 80s, 90s countries, maybe a little bit of early 2000s country because it's relatable. You hear it and you think, man, that's my life, so
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. Alex, do you have any in mind?
Oh gosh, another shameless plug for my album. My entire album is basically this entire concept is basically me telling my testimony in song form. So
Wow.
yeah, so we start on a song so we start low and then we go high. We don't go high to low, we go low to high. And the first song is called Valley of the Dolls by Marina and the Diamonds, I believe. And the chorus goes like, in the valley of the dolls, I'm gonna say, we sleep, got a hold inside of me, living with identities that do not belong to me. In my life, I got this far, Now I'm ready for the last hurrah, dying like a shooting star in the valley. So that's the first song.
Wow, that was awesome.
Thank you. Um, and then we're gonna end it with "Touch the Sky" by Hillsong, and I'm like, I touch the sky when my knees hit the ground. Just find me here at your feet again. Um, and just a
Love
I
it.
whole.
love that.
Thank you. So the entire album just songs that I just like kind of listen to and it's like, okay, where part of my testimony can I put this section of my life in? And so that's my entire album. So yes, I have 13 songs.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
13 songs come to mind when it comes to this question. That's
Yeah.
amazing. I love that.
um, but right now, the most relatable song I've been listening to is "Proud" by I don't know who sings it. Um, But the chorus goes, I wanna hear you say you're good and faithful. Words written on your face, you're strong and able. I wanna hear you say, come to my table. I
Mm.
wanna hear you say. And then it's basically about like, are you proud of me, God? Even though I messed up, I don't want to say I'm awful, but like, even though in my mistakes, I just want to hear you say that I'm good and faithful when I come to those, when I come meet you. That's kind of the
That's
song.
awesome.
Yeah, I think
I'm
that song
talking about
sounds super. Yeah, that song sounds really familiar. I don't know the artist either, but yeah, I know that I've heard that song before. That's a
I have
really good one.
mhm.
So, I guess when it comes to me, there's like three songs that come to mind. The first song, I know in the first part I talked about how much like I love Josh Groban and like his music and like how much so many different songs I feel like I can relate to in his like just with his singing career all throughout these years. But I feel like the one that I can relate to the most is a song called Broken Vow. It's very beautiful. It's very I can relate to it in a way like just from the very beginning, the words and it I think it's about like him being cheated on by somebody and you know personally I've gone through that and like the first like words in the song is like tell me his name I want to know like the way he looks and where you go and like I need to see his face. I need to understand why you and I came to an end. So like I start thinking of like just from the very beginning I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like these are like questions and things that like I wondered as well when like I was cheated on. So that's one that comes to mind. And then another one, I don't know if many people know about it unless you really like. I've, you know, to be honest, I've never seen Aladdin on Broadway, but there's a song that's on the Broadway version of Aladdin, and
Uh,
I see Alex is. Oh, never mind. I was
no,
about to
you said it loud, and I'm just like, nope, never mind.
but the song is called Proud of Your Boy and it's a really good song and so I guess it's something that like I can relate to just because like I never want to be like you know like a letdown to like anybody in my family or you know especially to my parents and stuff like that and like the words in the song it just sounds like you know like it just sounds like he is wanting his you know parents to be proud of him and you know not look down on him as like you know a disappointment or a shame or anything like that so there's that song the version that I've heard the only reason why I know about it even though I haven't seen the Broadway show is because Clay Aiken sang that song on like the Disney Mania like CDs that used to come out and so I heard it through there and not that I'm like the I mean Clay Aiken's got some pretty good songs but for some reason that song like I love and then the last one I'm sure Caitlyn will know this. Alex, you may know it too. But back when we were going to the basement, there was this song that would come on. It's called "Commission My Soul," and
Yeah.
I
Oh,
forget who it's by. If it's like City Point or something like that.
City Point
And
work.
yeah, that's who it is. And that's something about that song. Like I feel like I can just like really have like that time with God one on one. And just I feel like, you close your eyes and I just feel like I'm in like a desert or something, like in the middle of nowhere, and like just in front of God, and just oh, like just all of the word, like I'm even getting goosebumps just thinking about it, just because I love that song so much. So I think those are like three songs I feel like I can relate to, as far as personally in my life and like spiritually, all of that.
Can I didn't even think about like Broadway songs and like Disney stuff like that. Like I was thinking like songs, but then you started talking about Aladdin. I was like, oh my gosh. And it's not an Aladdin song, but like I've always been a weirdo. And like the song Belle from Beauty and the Beast, like where they're talking about Belle and like what kind of girl she is. One of my coworkers actually pointed out to me, the part that says, which pretty much all of it is like, that's Caitlyn. Um, part where it says, with a dreamy, far off look and her nose stuck in a book, what a puzzle to the rest of us is Belle. That part really hits because, like, I love books. I've always got a book. Like, I've got a book in my purse right now. I'm not going to pull it out, but I've got a book. Like, I've always got a book with me because you never know when you're going to be bored and need something to do, like, especially in awkward social situations. Like, so but yeah, that's another one that song describes me to a T.
Yeah, I love those songs where it's like, wait, you talking about me or are you talking about her? It's like it does sound like, you're speaking right to me. It's like, oh, like I feel like I'm being called out over here.
I'm being described of
Yeah, I love that song. That's at the very beginning, isn't it? That bonjour, bonjour,
Bonjour,
bonjour.
it.
bonjour. That shit goes, yeah. If we're gonna talk about Broadway songs and people whining about my life that I didn't give them permission to, is "She Used to Be Mine" from Waitress, and Sarah Bareilles wrote it.
Ooh.
I'm just like, Sarah, I did not tell you to write about my life story. I did not give you permission for this.
Yeah, it's like,
But
who
oh
told
gosh,
you?
Sarah Bareilles is such a good songwriter. I think she has a great voice. I'm always reminded of her great voice, but I kind of forget about her songwriting. And now I listen to She Used to Be Mine. I was like, oh gosh, Sarah. Hits here. Yeah, so She Used to Be Mine hits because that is my life story. Just replace the she with he. Um, um, but yeah, that's another great tearjerker song. If you want to
Oh
cry,
yeah.
listen to that song.
Hmm. Yeah, really good song for sure. She's very talented. I love that song most definitely. So, another question that comes to mind, is, do y'all know how to play any musical instruments? And if not, if you were to want to learn how to play an instrument, like, and even if you do know how to play an instrument, if there's another instrument that you would like to learn, it's like a three-part question here. What are some instruments that you currently play or would love to play at some point?
So for me, I can play the trumpet. I love the trumpet. I love the way a trumpet sounds. Like I just love my trumpet. I can also, when I was in, and I don't know if I could do it now. I say I can, but when I was in high school band, I learned how to play the trombone a little bit. I learned how to play the tuba a little bit. I had somebody teach me how to play the flute. Like in high school, I was gonna be a band director. That didn't last. Um, I realized it didn't take me long to realize that that was not going to be a possibility for me. Just because I just realized I didn't want to do that. But I can play like stuff like that kind of. And I can pick apart parts on the piano. I can't read music and play music at the same time when it comes to piano because my left hand is illiterate when it comes to doing stuff like that. But I would love to be able to play the piano fluently. And I would really like to be able to play the violin or the violin, the fiddle, whatever you want to call it. I would really love to be able to play that. It won't ever happen, but I would love to be able to.
Yeah, very beautiful instruments, most definitely. And then Alex, what you got over there?
Um, I could play piano. I self-taught myself. Why did I say that? I'm a self-taught piano person. Um, because backstory, no backstory is that my mom bought a grand piano from the 1920s because it was like $500, and she's like, "Oh, this is gonna grade in the house," and no one was playing it. So it was out of tune, but I took upon myself because I was in choir, so like I had like sheet music and knew how to read the basic steps of sheet music. So I just got my book out and just put my parts, and then from there I learned how to play and sing at the same time. So I could play piano really well. I kind of told people I wanted to be really good at one instrument. I told people I was either going to be really good at one instrument or be mediocre at many instruments. So I just chose piano as my main instrument. So I'm really good at that. But my favorite instrument is actually the saxophone. I just love how a saxophone sounds,
Oh yeah.
and um, I wanna play it. I have one, but I have an apartment, so I'm like, can I play it without annoying my neighbors? I don't know.
Yeah, don't want to wake up those neighbors, but it is a beautiful instrument for sure.
EG going.
Yes, yes, Kitty G. Yeah, and I love is the Careless Whisper that starts off with the saxophone, don't it? Or is that a different instrument?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
was
think
at, I'm not sure what instrument it is that starts out on that.
yeah. I know I forget which one it is, but yeah, but for some reason I don't know why I think about the saxophone when I think about that. And it may be a whole completely different instrument for all I know, but I definitely love the saxophone. You do think of Kenny G
Mhm.
when you think of the saxophone.
I love jazz music,
Yeah.
so saxophone, trumpet, trombone is all like the main core
Mhm.
instruments in jazz. So I'm just like, yeah, any of those instruments I want to play.
Yeah, those are definitely really good instruments to play. And like, is there any other instruments that you would like to learn to play, or you just feel like you're good with those two?
I, I'm good with just piano and voice. I'm good with that. I'd love to hear. I love a viola. I love the strings on like a violin. I love a good string quartet. But I'm happy and content with just singing the piano.
Yeah, good for you. I know you said that you definitely don't want to be mediocre at many instruments, so you might as well just focus on one and perfect that one and like be really good at that. So that's definitely probably a good way to go about doing that, unless you were like God gave you some like a bunch of talents into you, like with, as far as playing more than just just one instrument. So there's that. But for me, I mean, I know how to play a little bit of keyboard. Like I never played on like a grand piano really, but I do know how to play like a few songs. Like I don't know how to read music, so I kind of like learn by ear. So that's like mainly what I've played before, and I haven't played in a long time just because ever since I started working at Coca-Cola, I feel like I get busier and busier with each task I've been given. So like even after work, I don't really have that much time. But I would love to get back into playing the keyboard again because I think it's a very beautiful instrument. But if there's two other instruments that I would love to learn how to play, which probably won't happen with me as well, but like I would love to learn how to play the violin as well. I just think that it's just so beautiful hearing the violin. And then the other one, I feel like it would hurt my fingers, but like I feel like the harp would be like a really good one to play. I feel like it just
Mhm.
would. I would put myself to sleep probably listening to that. It just it's so peaceful. So, so I think those are like my two answers as far as instruments go. So, another question that I have is talking about like singing on stage. So have y'all I mean I know with Caitlyn being in the choir and I have and and I think Alex you've been on stage before. You said you were in the choir before too. So I guess we know the answer to this question, but have you ever performed on stage in front of the public? And if so, how was the first experience for you singing on stage for the first time? Like, were you nervous? Were you excited? What was going through your head as you were performing for the first time?
For me, I was mortified. I was. my first official performance or whatever, I don't really remember it. I don't remember how I felt about it. I was in fourth grade. I don't remember that. It was, it was kids choir at church, and not at church, at school, and we went to Auburn University. And the biggest thing I remember about that whole trip was we went to Timber's Corner and got lemonade. I don't remember much about the actual singing part, but um at as I've gotten older, my first time at at the church that I'm actually sitting in the parking lot of right now, um the very first time that I ever sang, not in the choir, but like I sang in a trio, and I was petrified. Like I had let a friend of mine convince me to try out for one of the parts of the trio for a song for Good Friday, and I think it was Good Friday. And yeah, it was Good Friday, our Good Friday service. And the night of, like, I was so angry at her because she had talked me into it. I was stressed out. Like, I could not enjoy the entire service because both times that I've been a part of a trio at our church, it's been the next to last song of because both of them have been for Good Friday, and it has been the next to the last song of the entire program. So I wasn't able to enjoy the entire thing because I was stressing out. But I remember getting up there and they played a video right before we sang, and I was like, Jesus, I can't do this. You're gonna have to do this because I can't do this. And it was like when I prayed that prayer, I opened my eyes and it was just like, it's gonna be okay. And then I actually had to start singing. And it was fine. Like, it turned out okay. I didn't have like a solo part. I had a harmony to the main part, but my worship pastor, he was leading the choir and he was standing behind us, and I could actually hear him humming my part. So it was really good because I was like, okay, I know I'm on point. I know that I'm singing the right notes because he's humming it.
Yeah, that's comforting to know, most definitely. Just knowing that he's probably understood that like you were maybe nervous up there, so he's like, I'm just gonna kind of help her out a
Yeah.
little.
He knew I was stressed out because I went up to him for the service and was like, I don't know if I can do this. And he was like, you got this. And I was like, no, I don't. He was like, Jesus and you's got this. It's gonna be fine. And then when I told him, I was like, no, I really don't think it's gonna be fine. He was like, you've got to do it. You're doing this. I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah, good for you getting it through and being able to use your voice for God's glory. I know you were definitely nervous, I'm sure, but I'm glad that you were able to be courageous enough to get through it.
Thank
Yeah, so Alex, I know you said you've been in the choir and theater, but I'm sure you've had a little bit more experience than both of us have, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, the same with Caitlyn. I did choir when I was in first, second grade, so I don't remember that singing experience, but I would say my first like solo performance was like in eighth grade. I was in a community theater in Arizona, and they just did like a cabaret, just do whatever songs you want to do. So I picked Mr. Cellophane from Chicago.
you. Yes.
Um, and that was my like very first solo song ever, and I auditioned with it. Everybody really loved it, and I just remember enjoying it. Because here's the thing about theater is that you get to hide behind a character, so it's not really you. So that's always the beauty of singing musical theater songs, and as it hits you in like a core on a core level. But the beauty of musical theater is you don't have to sing like you could just kind of like have fun with it. And I really enjoyed Mrs. Cellophane. I People really loved it, and
That's all.
so and now doing worship, I led worship a couple times, and the beauty about worship is that no one's gonna care if you sound bad because you're just trying to lead people into worshiping God and Jesus.
Yep.
So one of my favorite things to do as a worship leader is I would kind of sing, and then if it's a well-known song, so let's just say I was doing "What a Beautiful Name" because everybody knows that song. I would like
Yeah.
step back and let the congregation sing, so I don't have to like do any work because I just love it when the worship when
Awesome.
I love it when they do that. I went to a Hillsong concert like 3 months ago, and there was a couple of times when they did their most famous songs. They didn't sing and just let the arena sing the songs for them. And it's a really powerful moment in worship when you could just let the congregation sing for you.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I love that. And that's actually really smart to do that too, is I think that's what makes it even more like beautiful hearing like everybody singing like praises to Jesus in that way. So I think that's amazing for sure. And I think that's a very, good thing to kind of go with as far as whenever you start your own leading worship, when you're doing it on a more of a full time position. So yeah, that definitely is going to be amazing. And that's the same concert where you met Taya, wasn't it?
I did meet Taya and Chris Tomlin
Oh
at
my,
that concert.
Yeah, that's so
Um,
cool.
Fun fact, guys, Taya is really tall. Chris Tomlin is super short. So I have another photo on my Instagram, and I'm like doing this because Taya's almost about my height. She's maybe like a couple inches shorter than me, but like Chris Tomlin was like here, and I was like, okay, let's take a photo. And she was like my height, and Chris Tomlin is a little bit shorter than me. I was like, oh gosh.
Yeah, that's so funny. But yeah, I'm sure they were both really nice. I know you only got to see them for like a couple of minutes, but I bet it was so good just getting to meet them in that way too.
I was so awkward. I just wanted to be like, I love you guys so much. Oh, and then there was me. Oh, Taya, oh my God, Chris Tomlin. Oh, are we taking a photo? Okay. I was so embarrassed.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'll probably be doing the same exact thing. I'll probably been like fangirling in a
Oh
way,
no.
like what? What you? Like I know you.
I got to meet Fire Casting Crowns one time, and I was like, when me and my aunt were standing, and they were walking down the line of people that got selected to meet them, and the very last person was Mark Hall, and I don't know if you know who Casting Crowns is, Alex, but they are my favorite, and I just love Mark Hall, and so like I got pictures with all of them, and then here comes Mark Hall, and I'm like, I can't, I I can't. And my aunt was like, breathe, you've got to breathe. Like we were at Atlanta Fest in like 2012, and like when he walked up he was like hi, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love your song so much, you're just such a good writer. And he was like, thanks. I had the picture that I took a picture with him, and I think it was maybe it was one of the other guys, and because I had a Casting Crown shirt on, and so I've got a picture of me, and it was my profile picture on Facebook forever, like probably a year, maybe two. I mean, it was maybe even 2 years. Like it was the same profile pic, and as somebody who changes her profile picture quite regularly, I was like, oh my, I was just starstruck. It was great.
Okay, cool. So I'm not the
Yeah.
only person who makes an idiot of themselves when they meet people they love.
Yeah, those are always the fun moments. Is yeah, where it's like, yeah, this is the moment. Like I'm about to meet this person. Like their music has impacted me so much, and then here they come up to you, and you're like at loss of words. It's like, what do I? Either I'm going to say too much or not enough. It's like trying to find that balance.
Oh yeah, that
So,
was balance. It was word vomit. That was all it was.
I couldn't get anything out. I was just like,
Meeting the other ones, like meeting the rest of Casting Crowns, I was like, it was like, it's nice to meet you. Like I was just like, shaking meeting these people, and I didn't even ask for pictures with any of them, and I wasn't smart enough to do that in those moments. But as soon as I was like, oh my gosh, you're my favorite. Oh my. And like he was like, you, because we weren't even supposed to be taking pictures with them because they had there was so many of us, and they had stuff that they had to do. They were on their way to somewhere else, and so they were like, they're not gonna be able to take pictures with y'all. They're just gonna get to meet y'all, blah blah. And so I guess because I word vomited all over him, Mark Hall was like, "Do you want a picture?" I was like, oh my gosh, I would love one.
there you go. That it worked. You got the picture. Yeah, I love that. And I mean, I've only met a couple of people like Jeremy Camp and Matthew West are like two that I met. And
Oh, Jeremy Camp.
yeah, it's been a while though. I met him when I was like a teenager, so it's been a good like probably 15 years ago. So, but I remember meeting him, and I think I got a picture with him, like back on the old Kodak cameras, and you would have to go to Walmart and like
Right.
get your get your pictures. So yeah, that, and then yeah, Matthew West, same situation. It was at a concert. I think it was called Youthquake was like the name of the festival.
Yeah, I remember Youthquake. That, yeah. Oh, I forgot. I got to meet Skillet one year at Youthquake.
Oh my gosh, that's another
It,
good band.
John Cooper was like, and like I got to actually talk to them. The one time that I could have talked, I didn't. I was just like, oh my gosh. And like they were like, what's your favorite song? And like they didn't even care if like my dumb self didn't even say a song by them. I, and they were like, when I said it, they kind of looked, John Cooper kind of looked at me and he was like, oh, that's by Casting Crowns. He was like, I love that group. I love Mark Hall. Like he was really, really nice. And I felt so dumb when I walked away because I was like, I didn't even tell him what my favorite Skillet song was.
Yeah, well, it's all right. At least, at least he knows
Mhm.
that you like music that points to Jesus. So there's that.
Yeah.
So, but as far as me, as far as like performing wise, I mean, like I was in choir, same thing when I was a kid, fourth, fifth grade. But as far as doing like an actual solo singing, um, it wasn't like on a stage really. It was actually like just a few years ago at Panama City Beach. They had karaoke night at our condo, and so I got on like the little platform they had, and I sang "I Want It That Way" by the
Yeah.
Backstreet Boys, and everybody. I was singing a song that I knew everybody was going to be singing with me, so I didn't feel like I was singing alone. So I was like, "Let me please do this one," and then that's kind of what I've been doing ever since then. Like I try to sing songs that like everybody's like, "Oh, I know that song." Like even last year. I sang "My Heart Will Go On" by Celine Dion. And I was
Yeah.
thinking, like, everybody, get your phones out, get your flashlights going, and sing with me. Like, I don't want to be alone singing this. Help me out, people. So that was probably I was probably nervous more than excited. I had a little bit of excitement, but it was like 10% excitement and like 90% like I felt like my voice was all shaky like when I was singing. It's like I never sing like this ever. Like I sing differently in the car, and then I get out here and I sound like who is this? What is this voice coming out of my mouth?
Mhm.
So
My acoustics in my car is better than anywhere else.
same here. Yeah, that's exactly the same here. I'm probably gonna be doing that here in a little bit whenever I leave to go to choir rehearsal. I'm gonna be probably singing in there, preparing my voice for rehearsal. So there's that. So my final question that I have before we go is there may be somebody out here that wants to sing, like that wants to put themselves out there and sing or like pursue a career in music but are is a little nervous or a little scared to do that. So I know there's a lot of advice I can go with this, but is what is like one piece of advice that you would give to somebody that is scared to like have a music career for whatever reason, whether it be just the fear of rejection or just feeling like they don't believe in themselves and that they don't feel like they're capable of like having a music career? Like what is some like really good advice you can give?
I'll just say one little thing and then I'll let Alex take it away since he's the one that's going to have the career in this. But my thing would be if Jesus tells you to do it, don't worry about what anybody else says.
I love that. That's very good.
I mean, I agree. That's exactly what I did. Why the only reason I got my degree in worship, the only reason why I'm pursuing this was that God told me and He called me to it. I was like, okay, whatever you want to do with me, I'll do it.
Mm.
So, if He calls you, do it. Don't deny it. Um, and and that was a practical. I guess more practical would be for sure get a voice teacher, get a person who you can work with, and trial and error. I've gone through about 3 voice teachers before I got to the one I have now in the past couple years. But find yourself a voice teacher so he knows your, so they, I was like he, but they know your voice. So you can find it, and he's gonna. I keep saying he because my teacher is a man, but I'm not saying women can't be voice teachers. I'm sorry.
I get it. Yeah, you're good.
um, so that way they can help mentor you, help prepare you, and they always have you back. It's really funny how I have my voice teacher, and yeah, I see him once a week, and yes, I have to pay him for the services, of course, but like he's always so supportive. He always just like. If you need any help or any questions throughout the week, no, after, before lessons, please text me. I'm open. And he was like, okay, thank you, Matthew. So for sure, get yourself a really good voice teacher, or choir teacher. I know choir teachers can also be the same way too. But there's something about just going to a voice teacher and doing it 1-on-1 with someone is really special. So for sure, get yourself a voice teacher. If God tells you to do it, do it, and just trust, and that's it.
Yeah, I think those are both really good pieces of advice. Yeah, definitely. If Jesus is, if this is a calling that has been given to you, definitely pursue it, and just don't even worry about the surroundings. Just keep your focus on Jesus, and don't even worry about the fear of rejection and worrying that you're not going to make it, because you're not going to know until you try. And if if you impact somebody's life in one way or another, that one person, if you impact them, it's you basically accomplish your goal. That's kind of why people sing, that I feel like they want to, some of them, a lot of artists do not portray a good, I guess, message to people, but there are some artists out there that like really impact people's lives for the better, and especially those that like give glory to God in it through it all. So I think that's definitely good. But and also like Alex was saying, I think a voice teacher would be really good to invest in, and have somebody help you through your journey of trying to improve your singing, and or even like a choir teacher, like he says. I've even learned from my choir teacher at church, like about like the difference, like whenever like you use O's, like the way you round your mouth and stuff like that. I feel like things like that is very important to get the best quality sound out of your voice. So things like that is really good. So I definitely think that both Caitlyn and Alex gave some really good advice. And as far as like adding anything into it, it's just more of just believe in yourself. That's all I can think of, is just believe in yourself that you can do it, and because that with God all things are possible, and you can't go wrong with that. So I guess that's all I mainly have, besides you know even test things out, like post a cover on YouTube, or post a cover on TikTok or Instagram, or wherever, yeah, and just see where it goes with that. You want to post a cover or even an original song, because there's plenty of people that have gotten famous just off of social media, that they have a song on there, and then all of a sudden it gets on the radio, and then out of nowhere then you get a record label. So you just never know where things will lead. So I definitely think that you just gotta just believe in yourself and just don't give up on your dreams. So anyways, I think that is going to end this topic for today. I definitely want to thank Alex and Caitlyn for being here. But before we go, I'm going to have both Alex and Caitlyn talk about things that are going on in their life regarding, with Alex, with his music, regarding his album that he was talking about earlier, as well as his where you can follow his journey. And then also want Caitlyn to talk about her experience that she's going to be going through, like as far as an opportunity that she was given to be, going, that's going to happen for her in the summer. So whoever wants to start, I'll, let y'all have that opportunity, because I definitely want everybody to support both of your endeavors and journeys.
Well, ladies first.
Oh, well, thank you. For me, I have the opportunity of going to Spain to study abroad we find out for sure. We'll be finding out for sure pretty soon if we have enough students that are going to get to go. We have to have at least 6. So if enough people sign up, we should be finding out soon. Even if we don't, though, I'm still looking to take myself and maybe a friend with me to Spain in the summer. If we get to study, if I get to go study abroad, I'll be in Spain for an entire month. I'm doing fundraisers to save up for it, to help me be able to go because Lord knows I can't afford it by myself. But my most recent or my upcoming fundraiser, it'll be on social media soon. If you're on Instagram, you can follow. There's a hashtag. It's hashtag Kate CAIT, hashtag Kate goes to Spain. There's also, you can also follow, I have an account that is kind of like almost like blog posts. It's the at sign at ADHD Chronicles, but I'll also be talking about my upcoming trip to Spain. I'll also be posting about my fundraisers on there. My upcoming fundraiser is going to be selling t-shirts that have part of the lyrics from the song Follow You Anywhere. The part that says, wherever you lead me, whatever it costs me, I'll follow you anywhere. Looking at trying to do one that has a world, like the globe. It looks like the globe with a star at Alabama and a star at Spain, and then the words kind of wrapped around the world. But that's going to be, and I always think of the verse, I think it's in Isaiah, where he says, here I am, send me. That's how I want to be about this. So even if I don't get to go to study abroad, I still would like to go and be able to go over there and learn about the culture and still be able to share Jesus with the ones that I meet when I go over there. So, but you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram, hashtag Kate, CAIT, Kate goes to Spain. And then, like I said, you can follow the Instagram page, ADHD Chronicles. And I'll be giving out more information through that soon for that fundraiser.
Yes, most definitely. So go support Caitlyn with these things because I definitely want to see her go to Spain and get to see the experiences that she has there and using what she's learned so far, and even getting to learn more as she studies abroad, out there in Spain. So definitely go support that for sure.
My time. Okay. Um, well, as I mentioned earlier in this podcast, I am working on an album. I'm hoping it could be released between April and May. I'm hoping for like a spring release. Um, as right now, I got half the songs recorded right now. Scott had recorded the other half of the songs. Um, and so, in the meantime, while I'm recording that, I have a YouTube channel, which is just my name, Alex Kersh, AlexKersh. And every Wednesday, I upload a worship cover because I do Worship Wednesdays on YouTube. So that way, you can come find me. And if you just need like a midweek pick me up on like worship, you can sing along with me if you know the song. As of right now, I've been kind of static because school just took up so much time. Being a senior in college just takes so much time out of your day. So I kind of stopped doing it. I kind of stopped uploading regularly in like December, but I'm hoping, hopefully, in February I can go back to every Wednesday, do a worship, do a worship cover. And I also have an Instagram, which is just my name again, where I upload, covers that I'm just like, because Instagram only lets you upload like 1 minute videos. So that's just kind of where I'm just gonna be like, I'll just upload random songs on Instagram. But if you want to follow me for updates on like when the album's gonna come out and everything, just follow my YouTube, my Instagram. Soon I'm gonna get a music page, but I wasn't gonna focus on like the advertising aspect of the album until I'm done with like recording. One step at a time for me. That's what I always say. But if you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram, and listen to me sing, go right ahead.
Yes, most definitely. So I'm one of his subscribers, and I could definitely say he's got some really good covers on there. One from a musical that I love very, very much called Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and I definitely enjoyed hearing that. So definitely go check out his YouTube channel for sure. He's got some good covers on there, specifically that one. So I'm glad that y'all were both being able to join for this and like being able to do part two of this. I'm glad that y'all were here to start off the new year and the new season with me on here. So thank you both for being here.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And for all of you viewers watching, whether you're watching on YouTube or if you're listening to this on any of the podcast streaming platforms, I appreciate your support as well. So, anyways, I look forward to talking to y'all more on this season of Not Your Average Joel. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody that took the time to listen to this episode of Not Your Average Joel. My podcast is available not only on YouTube, but also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcast from. I also have an Instagram page where you can see outstanding moments, behind the scenes, and even a funny moment or two from each episode at Not Your Average Joel Podcast. If you want to get in contact with me, then my Instagram page is probably the best way to do so through direct messaging. I appreciate any kind of support that you have given to this channel, whether you are a guest or a listener to this podcast. Once again, I thank y'all so much, and I look forward to sharing more of my life with y'all on the next episode of Not Your Average Joel. Goodbye.